Let me begin by sharing a fundamental truth. Everything in your world is you pushed out. Every person, every relationship, every interaction is but a reflection of your own consciousness made manifest. When people suddenly change in your world, they are responding to changes within your own consciousness, whether you are aware of it or not. Now, let me tell you a story from the scripture that beautifully illustrates this principle. In the book of Genesis, we read about Jacob who wrestled with an angel through the night. This is not a historical event, but a psychological drama playing out in consciousness. Jacob wrestled alone, and through this solitary battle, he was transformed. His name was changed to Israel, which means he who rules as God. This story is speaking about you, about your journey of transformation. The wrestling match represents the internal struggle we all face when we must stand alone in our consciousness, when those around us seem to change or depart from our lives. Consider this: every person in your life is playing a role in accordance with your assumptions about them. When these assumptions change, when your consciousness shifts, they must, by law, change their role in your drama. This is not something to fear, but to understand deeply. I remember a lady who came to me in distress. She said, "Wayne, everyone in my life has changed. My friends have become strangers. My family seems distant. What am I to do?" I told her what I tell you now. This is not a tragedy, but an opportunity to discover the greatest discovery of your life, the discovery of your own divinity. You see, when people suddenly change, when relationships transform, it is life itself compelling you to stand alone in your imagination. It is pushing you toward the realization that you are the operant power, the only reality. Everything else is a shadow, a reflection of your own wonderful human imagination. Let me make this clear with another scriptural reference. In the book of John, Jesus says, "I have overcome the world." What world? The world of external dependency is the world of seeking fulfillment in others. He recognized that he and the Father, the human imagination, are one. Now, some of you might be thinking, "But Wayne, I didn't want these changes. I didn't want people to leave or transform." But I tell you this, your surface desires are not always aligned with the deeper movements of your consciousness, your inner conversations, your habitual assumptions. These are the true sculptors of your reality. When someone suddenly changes in your experience, look first to your own consciousness. What assumptions have you been harboring? What inner conversations have you been having? For it is these that shape your world, not the other way around. I recall a gentleman who attended my lectures in New York. He was distraught because his business partner of 20 years had suddenly turned against him. But upon examination, we discovered that for months he had been carrying an assumption of betrayal, playing out scenarios of distrust in his imagination. The external change was merely the manifestation of his own inner drama. This brings us to a crucial point. The art of surviving alone is not about isolation, but about self-reliance in consciousness. It's about understanding that you are the author of your experience and everyone else is simply playing their part in your script. Consider the biblical injunction, "Put not your trust in princes." This is not telling you to distrust others, but to place your trust in the one and only reality, your own wonderful human imagination. For when you truly grasp this, you will never be alone, for you cannot be separated from your own consciousness. Now, let me share with you the practical application of this knowledge. When you notice people changing around you, instead of reacting with fear or resistance, do this: stand firmly in the awareness that you are the operant power. Your consciousness is the only reality. Begin to have new inner conversations. Instead of lamenting the changes, say to yourself, "I am the creator of my reality. These changes are moving me toward my greater good." For remember, the whole vast world is yourself pushed out. Every person is yourself in another costume. I want you to understand something profound. The sudden changes in others are often a signal that you are ready for a greater revelation of your own power. Just as a butterfly must struggle alone to emerge from its chrysalis, you too must sometimes face the apparent solitude that precedes transformation. Let me tell you another story that illustrates this principle. There was a woman who attended my lectures in Los Angeles. She had built her entire life around her social circle, her relationships. When these began to change and dissolve, she fell into despair. But through understanding this law, she discovered something remarkable, her own divine nature. She began to practice what I'm sharing with you tonight. Instead of seeking validation or support from others, she turned within. She began to live from the assumption that she was complete, whole, and divinely supported. And do you know what happened? New relationships emerged, better ones aligned with her new self concept. This is the law as within, so without. The changes you see in others are reflecting changes in your own consciousness. Therefore, instead of trying to hold on to people or prevent change, focus on standing firmly in your own wonderful human imagination. Remember the words from Scripture, "Be still and know that I am God." This stillness is not physical stillness, but acquired confidence in your own consciousness as the creative power in your world. When you know this, truly know it. You cannot be disturbed by external changes. Now, let me address something that many of you might be wondering. What about love? What about connection? I tell you this, true love, true connection comes from the recognition that everyone in your world is you pushed out. When you love yourself, when you trust your own consciousness, you will naturally attract and maintain relationships that reflect this self-love. But here's the crucial point. These relationships will be different. They will no longer be based on dependency or fear, but on the recognition of your own completeness. People may still change, but these changes will no longer threaten your peace of mind. Consider this in the Bible. Jesus often withdrew to be alone. This was not about physical solitude, but about returning to the consciousness of being the operant power. When you can do this, when you can stand alone in your imagination, you have mastered the art of living. Let me give you a practical exercise. Tonight, when you go to sleep, instead of reviewing the changes and apparent losses in your life, do this. Live from the assumption that you are complete, whole, and divinely supported. Feel the truth of it. Fall asleep in this consciousness. For remember, your consciousness is the only reality. The people in your world are playing roles based on your assumptions. When these assumptions change, their roles must change. This is law. I want to share with you another profound truth. The ability to stand alone in your imagination is the greatest power you possess. It is the meaning behind the Scripture. The kingdom of heaven is within you. When you grasp this, when you live from this understanding, external changes lose their power to disturb you. Think about this. Everything you see in the world, every person, every relationship is a shadow cast by your consciousness. When the light of consciousness shifts, the shadows must move. This is not something to fear, but to embrace. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Wayne, what if I'm not ready to be alone? I tell you this, you are never truly alone. You are one with your own wonderful human imagination. And this is the only reality that matters. The changes you see in others are actually helping you discover this truth. They are pushing you toward the recognition of your own divinity. For remember, the whole vast world is yourself pushed out. Let me share one more story that illustrates this principle. A man came to me devastated because his entire social circle had suddenly turned against him. But through applying this law, through standing alone in his imagination, he discovered something remarkable. He found that as his consciousness shifted, as he began to live from the assumption of being divinely supported, new relationships naturally emerged that reflected this new state. This is the law. Your outer world must conform to your inner assumptions. When people suddenly change, when relationships transform, it is life itself compelling you to examine and adjust your consciousness. Remember the words of Scripture. I am my Father are one. The Father is your own wonderful human imagination. When you know this, when you live from this understanding, you cannot be shaken by external changes. So tonight I urge you to embrace these changes. See them as the natural result of your own expanding consciousness. Stand alone in your imagination, knowing that it is the only reality that matters. For when you can do this, when you can truly stand alone in your consciousness, you will discover that you are never truly alone. You are one with the creative power of the universe, your own wonderful human imagination. And from this understanding, this recognition of your own divine nature, you will create relationships and experiences that reflect your highest assumptions about yourself and life. Remember, the whole vast world is yourself pushed out. Every person is yourself in another costume. When you grasp this, when you live from this truth, you will have mastered the art of living. So let people change. Let relationships transform. Stand firmly in your own consciousness, knowing that you are the operant power, the only reality that matters. For in this understanding lies true freedom, true peace, and true mastery of life. And so I tell you this profound truth again. When you truly grasp that you are the operant power, that your consciousness is God in action, these sudden changes in people become not just understandable, but necessary for your spiritual evolution. Consider what we read in Ecclesiastes: to everything there is a season. These seasons of change, these moments when people suddenly transform or depart from your life, are divine appointments in consciousness. They are not happening to you. They are happening from you. I recall a striking incident from my own experience in Barbados. A dear friend who had been constant in my life for many years suddenly became a stranger. At first, like many of you might feel, I was bewildered. But then I realized this change was reflecting a shift in my own consciousness. I was being prepared for a greater understanding of the law. You see, when people suddenly change, it is often a signal that you are ready to move into a new state of consciousness. Just as a snake must shed its old skin to grow, you must sometimes let go of old relationships and patterns to embody your new state. Let me share with you another principle. Your inner conversations create your tomorrow. When people suddenly change, examine your inner conversations about them. What have you been telling yourself? For remember, the whole vast world is yourself pushed out. I remember a young woman who came to me in New York. She was distraught because her life seemed to be turning away from her simultaneously. But when we examined her inner conversations, we discovered that for months she had been repeating to herself, "No one understands me. I must do everything alone." Do you see how outer world was simply conforming to her inner conversations? This is law, not chance. Now, some of you might ask, "But Wayne, how do I maintain my stability when everyone around me is changing?" The answer lies in understanding that stability comes not from external circumstances, but from your consciousness of being the operant power. Consider the words of Paul. "I have learned in whatsoever state I am, there were to be content." This is not resignation, but the recognition that your consciousness is the only reality. When you stand firm in this understanding, external changes lose their power to disturb you. Let me give you a practical technique for mastering the state of consciousness. Tonight, as you lay in your bed, instead of reviewing the day's events or worrying about changing relationships, do this. Feel the reality of being the consciousness in which all things exist. Feel the truth that you are the awareness in which all changes take place. For remember, consciousness is the only reality. Everything else, every person, every relationship, every circumstance is an effect, not a cause. When you live from this understanding, you become immune to the fear of sudden changes. I want to share with you a profound truth that few understand. The people who suddenly change or leave your life are actually helping you discover your own completeness. They are pushing you toward the recognition that you are sufficient unto yourself because you are one with your own wonderful human imagination. Think about this in the story of the prodigal son. The young man had to lose everything, his relationships, his wealth, his status, before he could discover his true inheritance. This story is about you, about your journey to self-discovery through apparent loss and change. Now, let me address something that many of you might be struggling with, the fear of being alone. This fear comes from not understanding that you can never be alone because you are one with the creative power of the universe, your own wonderful human imagination. I remember a man who attended my lectures in San Francisco. He had built his entire identity around his social circle and professional relationships. When these began to crumble, he felt as though his world was ending. But through applying this law, through standing alone in his imagination, he discovered something remarkable, his own divine nature. You see, when people suddenly change, they are actually helping you fulfill a deeper pattern in consciousness. They are playing their part in your spiritual awakening, whether they know it or not. Consider the biblical story of Joseph. His brothers suddenly turned against him, sold him into slavery. But this apparent betrayal was actually the means by which he discovered his true power and fulfilled his divine destiny. Your story is no different. When people change, when relationships transform, it is life itself compelling you to stand in your own divinity. It is pushing you toward the recognition that you are the author of your experience, not a victim of circumstances. Remember these words, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This transformation often requires the dissolution of old patterns, old relationships, old ways of being. When people suddenly change, they are reflecting this inner transformation. Let me give you another practical application of this law. Instead of resisting these changes, instead of trying to hold on to people who are clearly moving in a different direction, do this. Stand firmly in the consciousness of being the operant power. Know that you are the awareness in which all things exist. For remember, the whole vast world is yourself pushed out. Every person who suddenly changes is reflecting a change in your own consciousness, whether you are aware of it or not. I want you to grasp something profound. These sudden changes in relationships are actually opportunities for the greatest discovery of your life, the discovery of your own divine nature. When you understand this, when you live from this truth, you become invincible to external changes. Consider the words of Scripture, though he slay me, yet will I trust in him. This is not about blind faith in an external God, but about absolute confidence in your own wonderful human imagination, regardless of external circumstances. Remember, you are not a victim of these changes. You are the creator of your reality, and everyone in your world is playing their part in your divine drama. When you grasp this, when you live from this understanding, you become master of your destiny. In this world of constant flux and change, we often find ourselves faced with challenges that seem insurmountable, obstacles that appear to block our path to success and fulfillment. But I say to you with unwavering conviction, that within you lies the power to rise above any circumstance, to triumph over any adversity, and to emerge victorious from the darkest of nights. Let us begin by understanding a fundamental truth. Your outer world is but a reflection of your inner state of being. Everything you experience in your life, every triumph and every setback is a manifestation of your own consciousness. The world you see around you is nothing more than your own wonderful human imagination pushed out into reality. When you find yourself in a situation where life seems to be pressing down upon you with unbearable weight, when the challenges before you appear too great to overcome, remember this: you are not a victim of circumstances, but the creator of your reality. The very fact that you can imagine a better state, a more desirable condition, is proof that it already exists within you. Consider for a moment the acorn. Within its tiny shell lies the blueprint of a mighty oak tree. It contains within itself the potential for greatness, for magnificent growth and expansion. And so it is with you, my dear friends. Within your consciousness lies the seed of every desire, every ambition, every dream you've ever held dear. But just as the acorn must break through its shell and push through the soil to reach the light, so too must you break through the limitations of your current circumstances to realize your true potential. This process may seem difficult, even painful at times, but it is through this very struggle that you gain the strength and wisdom necessary for your growth. Now let us delve deeper into the nature of your being. You are not merely a physical body subject to the whims of a capricious universe. You are in essence pure consciousness, a fragment of the divine mind that permeates all of creation. This consciousness, this I am, is the true source of your power. When you say to yourself, I am, you are invoking the name of God within you. For did not the Scriptures say, be still and know that I am God? This I am is not some distant deity separate from you, but the very core of your being. It is the creative principle through which all things are made manifest. So when you find yourself knocked down by life's challenges, when you feel the weight of the world upon your shoulders, remember this: you have within you the power of the universe itself. You have the ability to reshape your reality through the creative use of your imagination. Let me share with you a technique that I have found to be of immense value in times of difficulty. When you are faced with a challenging situation, close your eyes and enter into the silence of your own being. In this state of relaxed awareness, imagine yourself as you wish to be. See yourself standing tall, confident, and victorious. Feel the emotions associated with having overcome your challenges. Experience the joy, the relief, the sense of accomplishment as if it were already a fact. For in the realm of imagination, there is no distinction between what is real and what is imagined. Your subconscious mind accepts as real whatever you impress upon it with feeling and conviction. As you practice this technique, you will begin to notice a shift in your outer world. Circumstances that once seemed insurmountable will begin to yield. Opportunities that were previously hidden will reveal themselves. For you are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe, and all things must rearrange themselves to match your new inner state. But remember, my dear friends, this is not a matter of mere positive thinking or wishful daydreaming. This is a fundamental law of consciousness, as real and immutable as the law of gravity. Just as a seed planted in fertile soil must grow, so too must your imaginal acts bear fruit in your outer world. Now you may ask, but Wayne, what if I've tried this before and failed? What if I've imagined myself in a better state, yet my circumstances remain unchanged to this? I say persistence is key. Rome was not built in a day, and neither is a new state of consciousness. Consider the story of the Chinese bamboo tree. For 5 years after planting, no visible growth occurs. Yet the gardener must continue to water and nurture the seed, trusting in the unseen process taking place beneath the soil. Then suddenly, in the 5th year, the bamboo tree shoots up, growing as much as 90 feet in a single season. Your imaginal acts are like that bamboo seed. Though you may not see immediate results, trust that a transformation is taking place within you. Continue to water the seed of your desire with your imagination and your faith. For when the appointed time comes, your desired state will manifest with a speed and power that will astound you. Let us now address another aspect of picking yourself up when times are tough, the power of your self-talk. The conversations you have with yourself, the words you use to describe your situation have a profound impact on your ability to rise above your circumstances. When faced with adversity, it's all too easy to fall into patterns of negative self-talk. You may find yourself saying things like, "I can't do this," or "This is too hard for me," but I urge you, with all the conviction of my being, to guard your inner conversations with the utmost vigilance. Instead of saying, "I can't say I am capable," instead of lamenting, "This is too hard or firm," "I am strong enough to overcome this challenge." Remember, your I am statements are the most powerful tool you possess for shaping your reality. Every time you say "I am," you are setting in motion a creative force that will work tirelessly to bring about the conditions you have declared. So choose your words wisely, for they are the building blocks of your future experiences. Now, my dear friends, let us consider the nature of time in relation to our discussion. Many of you may feel that your past experiences, your previous failures or setbacks, somehow limit your future potential. But I say to you, time is but an illusion created by the human mind to make sense of the eternal now. In truth, there is only the present moment. Your past exists only as memory, and your future as imagination. Both are malleable subject to the creative power of your consciousness. You have the ability, right here and now, to reinterpret your past and reimagine your future. When you find yourself dwelling on past failures or setbacks, consciously choose to reframe these experiences. See them not as obstacles, but as stepping stones that have led you to this moment of awakening. For it is often through our greatest challenges that we discover our true strength and potential. As for the future, remember that it exists only in your imagination. So why not imagine the best possible outcome? Why not see yourself as already having overcome your current challenges? For in doing so, you are planting the seeds of that very reality in the fertile soil of the present moment. Let me share with you a powerful exercise to help you pick yourself up when times are tough. I call it the mental movie technique. Close your eyes and imagine yourself sitting in a cinema. The lights dim, and on the screen before you, a movie begins to play. But this is no ordinary movie. It is the story of your life as you wish it to be. See yourself on that screen, moving through your day with confidence and joy. Watch as you easily overcome the challenges that once seemed so daunting. Feel the emotions of success, of accomplishment, of inner peace. Make this movie as vivid and detailed as possible, engaging all your senses. Now step into that movie. Merge with the version of yourself on the screen. Feel what it's like to be that person, to live that life. Experience it as if it were happening right now, in this very moment. For in the realm of imagination, it is happening now. As you practice this technique, you will find that your outer world begins to conform to the inner movie you have created. For you are impressing upon your subconscious mind a new self-concept, a new vision of who you are and what you're capable of achieving. Remember, my dear friends, the circumstances of your life are not happening to you. They are happening from you. They are the outpicturing of your own states of consciousness. So if you wish to change your circumstances, you must first change your consciousness. This brings us to another crucial point in our discussion, the importance of perseverance. Picking yourself up when times are tough is not a one-time event, but a continual process of self-renewal and self-affirmation. There may be days when you feel discouraged, when it seems that despite your best efforts, your desired state remains out of reach. In these moments, it is crucial to remember that every great achievement in human history was preceded by countless failures and setbacks. Thomas Edison, in his quest to invent the light bulb, failed thousands of times before achieving success. When asked about these failures, he famously replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work this." My dear friends, is the attitude we must adopt in our own lives. Every setback, Every apparent failure is not an end, but a beginning. It is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to refine your approach. Each time you pick yourself up after a fall, you become stronger, more resilient, more capable of achieving your desires. So when you find yourself knocked down by life's challenges, do not despair. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this setback as a stepping stone to greater heights? For in reframing your challenges in this way, you transform them from obstacles into opportunities. Now, let us address a question that may be arising in your minds. But, Nebel, what about external circumstances that are beyond my control? How can I pick myself up when the world seems to be working against me? To this I say there are no external circumstances that are truly beyond your control. For what you perceive as external reality is but a reflection of your inner state. The world you see around you is your own wonderful human imagination pushed out. When you change your inner state, when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, the outer world must conform to match this new inner reality. This is not magic or mysticism, but a fundamental law of consciousness. Consider the story of Joseph in the Bible, sold into slavery by his brothers, falsely accused and imprisoned. He could have easily succumbed to despair, but instead he maintained his faith, his inner conviction that he was destined for greatness. And what happened? He rose from the depths of a prison cell to become the second most powerful man in Egypt. His external circumstances changed dramatically, not because of some stroke of luck, but because he refused to let his inner state be dictated by his outer conditions. You, my dear friends, have the same power within you. No matter how dire your current circumstances may seem, you have the ability to rise above them through the creative use of your imagination. But remember, this is not about escaping reality or denying the challenges before you. It is about assuming a new inner state, a new self-concept that is in alignment with your desires. From this new state of consciousness, you will naturally take actions that lead to the manifestation of your desires in the outer world. Let us now explore another powerful technique for picking yourself up. When times are tough, the practice of gratitude. Gratitude is not merely a polite social convention, but a transformative state of consciousness that has the power to reshape your entire life. When you are facing challenges, it can be all too easy to focus on what's wrong, on what you lack, on the obstacles in your path. But I urge you to make a conscious effort to shift your focus to what's right in your life, to the blessings you already possess, to the progress you've already made. Start each day by listing 5 things you're grateful for. They can be as simple as the breath in your lungs, the roof over your head, or the loved ones in your life. As you do this, feel the emotion of gratitude deeply. Let it fill your entire being. For when you cultivate an attitude of gratitude, you are aligning yourself with the abundance of the universe. You are declaring to your subconscious mind and to the world at large that you are worthy of receiving good things. And as you do so, you will find that more and more blessings flow into your life. Moreover, the practice of gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. It transforms your perception of your current circumstances, allowing you to see opportunities where before you saw only obstacles. Remember, my dear friends, the universe responds not to your words, but to the feeling tone of your being. When you vibrate at the frequency of gratitude, you attract more experiences that match that vibration. You create a positive feedback loop that lifts you higher and higher, even in the face of adversity. Now, let us address a crucial aspect of picking yourself up when times are tough, the importance of self-love and self-compassion. In times of difficulty, it's all too easy to fall into patterns of self-criticism and self-blame. You may find yourself thinking, if only I was smarter, stronger, more capable, then I wouldn't be in this situation. But I say to you, with all the love in my heart, that such thoughts are not only unhelpful, but actively harmful to your progress. For how can you pick yourself up if you are constantly tearing yourself down? Instead, I urge you to cultivate an attitude of loving kindness towards yourself. Treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding that you would offer to a dear friend facing similar challenges. When you make a mistake or face a setback, instead of berating yourself, say, I love you. I understand that you're doing your best. What can we learn from this experience to do better next time? For in doing so, you create a supporting inner environment that nurtures growth and resilience. Remember, you are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are a divine being, a child of the universe, worthy of love and respect simply by virtue of your existence. When you truly internalize this truth, you will find an unshakable source of strength within yourself, a wellspring of resilience that will sustain you through any challenge. Let us now explore another powerful tool for picking yourself up when times are tough, the practice of mindfulness. In times of difficulty, it's easy to get caught up in anxious thoughts about the future or regretful ruminations about the past, but true power lies in the present moment. Mindfulness is the practice of bringing your full attention to the here and now without judgment. It's about observing your thoughts and feelings as they arise without getting caught up in them or identifying with them. When you find yourself overwhelmed by the challenges before you, take a moment to pause and breathe. Focus your attention on your breath, feeling the sensation of the air moving in and out of your body. Notice the thoughts and emotions that arise, but don't attach to them. Simply observe them as a witness. As you practice this, you will begin to realize that you are not your thoughts or your emotions. You are the awareness that perceives them. This realization creates a space between stimulus and response, allowing you to choose your reactions rather than being controlled by them. From this place of mindful awareness, you can more easily access your inner resources of wisdom and strength. You can respond to challenges with clarity and purpose rather than reacting from a place of fear or anxiety. Moreover, mindfulness helps you to fully inhabit the present moment where all your power lies. For it is only in the present that you can take action, make choices, and create change. The past is gone and the future is yet to come, but the present moment is always available to you as a point of power and possibility. Now, my dear friends, let us address the role of faith in picking yourself up when times are tough. When I speak of faith, I do not mean blind belief in an external deity or dogma. Rather, speak of an unshakable conviction in the creative power of your own consciousness. Faith, in this context, is the ability to see the invisible, to believe in the possibility of your desires, even when there is no physical evidence to support them. It is the courage to persist in your imaginal acts, even when the outer world seems to contradict them. Remember the words of Scripture, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Your faith, your unwavering belief in the reality of your imagined state, is the very substance that will eventually solidify into physical reality. When times are tough, when the challenges before you seem insurmountable, let your faith be your anchor. Hold fast to the vision of your desired state, knowing that it already exists in the realm of potential, waiting to be called forth into manifestation by your unwavering miga. Consider the story of the Wright brothers. When they first proclaimed their intention to create a flying machine, they were met with ridicule and skepticism. The prevailing belief of their time was that human flight was impossible, but they held fast to their vision, persisting in their efforts despite countless setbacks and failures. And what was the result? They changed the course of human history, ushering in the age of aviation. Their faith in the unseen possibility of human flight was the driving force that turned that possibility into reality. You, my dear friends, have the same power within you. Whatever challenges you face, whatever dreams you hold in your heart, know that they are possible. Have faith in the creative power of your consciousness, for it is through this faith that mountains are moved and miracles are wrought. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to emphasize a crucial point. Picking yourself up when times are tough is not about forcing change through sheer willpower. It's not about gritting your teeth and pushing through adversity by brute force. Rather, it's about aligning yourself with the natural flow of life, with the creative power of the universe that is always moving towards greater expression and expansion. It's about relaxing into the knowledge that you are supported by a universe that is fundamentally benevolent and abundant. When you find yourself struggling against the current of life, pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what if I could relax into this situation? What if instead of fighting against my circumstances, I could flow with them, trusting that they are leading me towards my highest good? For often, what we perceive as obstacles are actually opportunities in disguise. The very challenges that seem to be holding us back are often the catalyst for our greatest growth and transformation. Remember that diamond is formed under intense pressure. The pearl is created by the oyster's response to irritation. In the same way, your challenges are the raw material from which you will forge your greatest strengths and accomplishments. So embrace your challenges, my dear friends. Welcome them as opportunities for growth and self-discovery. For in doing so, You transform them from stumbling blocks into stepping stones on your path to greatness. As we draw our discussion to a close, I want to leave you with a final thought, a seed to plant in the fertile soil of your consciousness. You are not a helpless victim of circumstance, but a powerful creator of your reality. You have within you the power to rise above any challenge, to transform any situation, to create any life you can imagine. The key lies in your consciousness, in your ability to imagine and feel yourself into new states of being. No matter how tough times may seem, no matter how insurmountable your challenges may appear, remember this: you always have the power to choose your response, to pick yourself up, to reimagine your reality. So go forth, my dear friends, with courage and conviction. Face your challenges not with fear, but with faith in your own divine nature. Pick yourself up not with grim determination, but with joyous anticipation of the growth and transformation that awaits you. For you are more than you know, capable of more than you can imagine. You are a living expression of the infinite creative power of the universe. And as you align yourself with this truth, as you live from the state of your wish fulfilled, you will find that life itself conspires to support you, to lift you up, to carry you towards the realization of your deepest desires. Remember, the very fact that you can imagine a better state is proof that it already exists within you, waiting to be realized. So dare to dream, dare to imagine, dare to feel yourself into new states of being. For in doing so, you are not merely picking yourself up, you are rising to new heights of self-realization and self-expression. And know this: every time you pick yourself up, every time you choose faith over fear, love over limitation, possibility over problem, you are not just changing your own life, you are contributing to the upliftment of all humanity. For we are all interconnected, all part of the same divine consciousness. Your triumph over adversity, your ability to pick yourself up when times are tough, serves as an inspiration and a beacon of hope for all those around you. It ripples out into the world, touching lives in ways you may never fully know or understand. So embrace your power. My dear friends, embrace your divine nature. Embrace the challenges before you as opportunities for growth and transformation. For in doing so, you are fulfilling your highest purpose, to be a living embodiment of the infinite potential that resides within all of us. Go forth and create, knowing that you are supported by the very fabric of the universe. Pick yourself up, rise above, and soar to the heights of your truest, most magnificent self. For this is not just your potential, it is your birthright, your true nature, your destiny. And so, my beloved friends, I leave you with these final words. You are the master of your faith, the captain of your soul. No matter how tough times may seem, you always have the power to pick yourself up, to reimagine your reality, to create anew. Trust in this power, for it is the very essence of who you are. May you go forth with courage, with faith, with love, knowing that within you lies the power to overcome any obstacle, to rise above any challenge, to create any reality you can imagine. For you are, in truth, limitless, boundless, infinite in your potential. Remember, the world is your mirror, reflecting back to you your own wonderful human imagination pushed out. So imagine wisely, feel deeply, and live boldly. For in doing so, you are not just picking yourself up, you are rising to the full stature of your divine nature, fulfilling your highest purpose, and contributing to the evolution of all humanity. Go now and be the miracle you wish to see in the world. For you are that miracle, waiting to unfold in all its magnificent glory. Trust in this truth and live from this knowing, and watch as your life transforms in ways more beautiful and profound than you ever dared to dream. I want you to know that every word I speak is not just for your ears, but for your soul. For it is within the depths of your being that the true power of creation resides. And it is through understanding and applying this power that you will find the strength to rise, no matter how many times you may fall. Let us begin by understanding a fundamental truth. You are not a helpless being tossed about by the winds of circumstance. You are in fact the very author of your life story. Every experience, every triumph, and yes, every setback is a creation of your own making. This may seem a heavy burden to bear, but I assure you it is the key to your liberation. Imagine if you were a master sculptor standing before a block of marble. To the untrained eye, that marble may appear cold, unyielding, perhaps even intimidating in its solidity. But to the sculptor, that marble contains infinite possibilities. Within its seemingly impenetrable surface lies every statue that could ever be conceived. The sculptor's task is not to force the marble into submission, but to reveal the beauty that already exists within. You, my dear friends, are both the sculptor and the marble. Your life, with all its challenges and victories, is the masterpiece you are continually shaping. When you fall, when you face setbacks or disappointments, you are not being punished by an uncaring universe, nor you are simply in the process of revealing a more magnificent aspect of yourself. But how, you may ask, does one find the strength to rise again when the weight of failure seems too heavy to bear? The answer lies in understanding the true nature of your being. You are not your failures, nor are you your successes. You are the awareness that experiences both. You are the consciousness that persists through every high and every low. Consider for a moment the nature of consciousness. It is ever-present, unchanging, and eternal. It is the backdrop against which all experiences play out. When you identify with this consciousness, rather than with the temporary states of success or failure, you tap into an inexhaustible source of strength. This strength is not something you need to acquire or develop. It is already within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. It is the very essence of your being, the divine spark that animates your human form. When you align yourself with this inner strength, picking yourself up becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Let me share with you a technique that will help you access this inner strength whenever you need it. Close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. As you breathe in, imagine that you are drawing in not just air, but the very essence of life itself. Feel this life, giving energy, filling every cell of your body, every corner of your being. As you exhale, release all thoughts of past failures, all doubts about your ability to rise again. Let them flow out of you, dissolving into the ether. Now, in this space of calm and clarity, imagine yourself standing tall, radiant with inner strength. See yourself moving forward with confidence and purpose, undeterred by any obstacle. Hold this image in your mind. Feel the emotions associated with it. Let it become more real to you than any setback you've experienced. This, my friends, is the power of your imagination at work. And your imagination, properly directed, is the most potent force in the universe. Remember, the world you see around you is nothing more than a reflection of your inner states. When you change your inner world, your outer world must by law change to match it. This is not wishful thinking or blind optimism. This is the operation of universal law, as certain as gravity. Now let us delve deeper into the mechanics of rising after fall. When you encounter a setback, it's natural to feel discouraged. The human mind, conditioned by years of societal programming, often defaults to negative self-talk and limiting beliefs. But I want you to understand that these thoughts and beliefs are not you. They are simply habits of mind. And like any habit, they can be changed. The first step in changing these habits is to become aware of them. Pay attention to the thoughts that arise when you face a challenge. Are they supportive and empowering, or do they undermine your confidence? Once you've identified these thoughts, you can begin to change them. But here's the crucial point. You don't change these thoughts by fighting against them. Resistance only gives them more power. Instead, you change them by replacing them with new empowering thoughts. And you do this not through force of will, but through the power of your imagination. Imagine yourself as the person you wish to be, someone who rises effortlessly after every fellow. See yourself moving through life with unshakable confidence, turning every setback into a stomping stone for greater achievement. Feel the emotions associated with being this person. Let every cell in your body vibrate with this new self-image. As you practice this, you'll find that picking yourself up becomes easier and more natural. It's not that you won't face challenges. Challenges are an inevitable part of life's journey. But your response to these challenges will change. Instead of being defeated by them, you'll see them as opportunities for growth and self-discovery. Now, let me address a common misconception. Many people believe that to keep going in the face of adversity requires gritting your teeth and pushing through by sheer force of will. But this approach is fraught with struggle and often leads to burnout. True perseverance comes not from forcing yourself forward, but from aligning yourself with the natural flow of life. Imagine a river flowing towards the sea. It doesn't struggle against the rocks in its path. It simply flows around them, over them, sometimes even through them. And in doing so, it shapes the very landscape it's traversing. This is how you should approach the journey of your life. Don't fight against obstacles. Flow with them, around them, through them. Let them shape you into something more beautiful, more powerful. This approach requires a fundamental shift in perspective. Instead of seeing setbacks as something happening to you, see them as happening for you. Every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Every failure is a stepping stone to success. When you embrace this mindset, you'll find that picking yourself up becomes not just easier, but actually enjoyable. Consider the life of any great achiever, an inventor, an artist, an entrepreneur. Their path to success was invariably marked by numerous setbacks and failures. But what set them apart was not an absence of failure, but their response to it. They didn't allow failure to define them. Instead, they used it as feedback, as valuable information to guide their next attempt. Thomas Edison, when asked about his numerous failed attempts to create the light bulb, famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This, my friends, is the attitude of a true creator. It's not about never falling. It's about always getting back up. But how does one cultivate this attitude? It begins with understanding that your true self, your divine nature, is untouched by failure or success. These are simply experiences that your human form goes through. Your essence remains pure, perfect, and complete. When you identify with this unchanging essence, rather than with the changing circumstances of your life, you tap into an inexhaustible source of strength and resilience. From this place of inner strength, picking yourself up becomes as natural as breathing. Now let me share with you a powerful technique to help you reconnect with this inner strength whenever you need it. I call it the I Am meditation. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths to center yourself. Now silently repeat the words I am to yourself. Don't add anything after these words. Just I am. Feel the power of these words. I am is the name of God, the creative force of the universe. When you say I am, you are aligning yourself with this creative power. As you continue to repeat I am, you may notice thoughts arising, doubts, fears, memories of past failures. Don't fight these thoughts. Simply observe them and let them pass, always returning to I am. Do this for at least 5 minutes each day, longer if you can. With regular practice, you'll find that this simple exercise profoundly shifts your perspective. You'll begin to identify more with the unchanging I am than with the changing circumstances of your life. And from this place of inner stability, picking yourself up and keeping going becomes effortless. Remember, my dear friends, that every great achievement in human history began as a thought, an idea in someone's mind. The buildings we live in, the cars we drive, the technology we use, all of these were once just ideas. And many of these ideas faced numerous setbacks before they became reality. The Wright brothers faced ridicule and failure many times before they achieved power and flight. But they kept going because they held fast to their vision. They knew in the depths of their being that flight was possible. And it was this unwavering belief, more than any technical skill, that ultimately led to their success. You too have dreams, visions of what your life could be. Perhaps you've tried to make these dreams a reality and face setbacks. Perhaps you've even given up on these dreams. I'm here to tell you that those dreams are not there. They live within you, waiting for you to breathe life into them once again. Your ability to pick yourself up and keep going is directly related to how vividly you can imagine your desired outcome. The clearer and more emotionally charged your vision, the more resilient you become. This is because your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you consistently imagine yourself succeeding, overcoming obstacles, and living your dream life, you are literally rearing your brain to make this your reality. So I challenge you right now to revive those dreams you put aside. Close your eyes and see yourself living that life you've always wanted. Feel the emotions associated with that life. Make it so real in your mind that you can taste it, touch it, smell it. Do this every day, multiple times a day if you can. Make it a non-negotiable part of your daily routine, as important as eating or sleeping. As you do this, you'll find that setbacks and failures lose their power over you. They become mere blips on the radar, temporary detours on your path to your desired destination. You'll pick yourself up automatically because staying down simply won't be an option. Your vision will pull you forward regardless of the obstacles in your path. Now let's address another crucial aspect of picking yourself up and keeping going: self-talk. The words you use both in your internal dialogue and in your everyday speech have immense power. They shape your perception of reality and consequently your experiences. Many people, when faced with setbacks, engage in negative self-talk. They say things like, I'm a failure, I'll never succeed, or why do I even bother? This kind of self-talk is not only unhelpful, it's actively harmful. It reinforces a negative self-image and makes it harder to bounce back from setbacks. Instead, I want you to consciously cultivate positive, empowering self-talk. When you face a setback, instead of saying, I'm a failure, say, I'm learning and growing. Instead of, I'll never succeed, say, my success is inevitable. Instead of, why do I even bother, say, every attempt brings me closer to my goal. This isn't about denying reality or pretending that setbacks don't hurt. It's about framing your experiences in a way that empowers you rather than defeats you. It's about choosing words that align with your divine nature, words that reflect your true power as a creator. Remember, your word is your wand. Every word you speak is a declaration to the universe, a seed planted in the fertile soil of infinite possibility. Choose your words wisely, for you will surely reap what you sow. Now let's talk about the role of silence in picking yourself up and keeping going. In our noisy, fast-paced world, we often underestimate the power of silence. But it is in silence that we connect most deeply with our inner strength, our divine nature. When you face a setback, resist the urge to immediately spring into action or to seek advice from others. Instead, retreat into silence. Spend some time each day in quiet contemplation. This doesn't have to be formal meditation, although that can be incredibly powerful. It can be as simple as taking a quiet walk in nature or sitting in stillness for a few minutes before you start your diva. In this silence, you'll find clarity. You'll be able to hear the still, small voice within that always knows the way forward. This inner guidance is far more reliable than any external advice, for it comes from the deepest part of you, the part that is one with the creative force of the universe. As you cultivate this practice of silence, you'll find that picking yourself up becomes almost automatic. You'll develop an inner resilience that no external circumstance can shake. You'll know with unshakable certainty that no matter what happens, you have the power to rise again. Now, my dear friends, as we near the end of our time together, I want to emphasize a crucial point. The ability to pick yourself up and keep going is not just about achieving your goals, although that is certainly part of it. More importantly, it's about fully expressing your divine nature, about becoming the person you were always meant to be. You see, every setback, every fall is an opportunity for growth. It's a chance to shed limitations, to break free from outdated beliefs, to step more fully into your power as a divine being. When you understand this, you'll no longer fear failure. In fact, you'll welcome challenges, for you'll know that each one brings you closer to your true self. Think of a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis. The struggle to break free is what gives its wings the strength to fly. In the same way, your struggles, your setbacks are strengthening you, preparing you for the magnificent life that awaits you. So I urge you, my dear friends, embrace your falls. See them for what they truly are, opportunities for transformation. And each time you pick yourself up, know that you are not just continuing your journey, but elevating it. You are ascending to new heights of being, expressing more and more of your divine nature. Remember, you are not a mere human being having occasional spiritual experiences. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. Your true nature is divine, perfect, and complete. Nothing can diminish this truth. No setback, no failure, no external circumstance can touch the core of who you are. When you live from this understanding, picking yourself up becomes more than just a response to setbacks. It becomes a joyous affirmation of your true nature. It becomes a sacred act, a way of honoring the divine spark within you. So, my dear friends, I challenge you to see every fall as an opportunity to rise higher. See every setback as a setup for a comeback. Know that with every challenge you face, you are being invited to express more of your divine nature, to shine your light more brightly in the world. And as you do this, you'll find that your life begins to flow with an ease and grace you may have never thought possible. You'll move through the world with unshakable confidence, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the power to key in, to keep going, to create the life of your dreams. Remember, the power to pick yourself up and keep going is not something you need to acquire. It's already within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. It's your birthright as a divine being. Live it, own it, live it. As we come to the close of our time together, I want you to take a moment to reflect on what you've heard. Feel the truth of these words resonating in your being. Know that from this moment on, you have the power to face any challenge, to overcome an obstacle, to pick yourself up no matter how many times you fall. You are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. You have within you the power to create worlds, to shape reality according to your will. Never forget this truth. Live from it, let it inform every thought, every word, every action. And as you go forth from this place, know that you carry with you the infinite power of the universe. You are never alone, never without resources. The same power that created the stars and planets flows through you, ready to be expressed in your life. So go forth, my dear friends, with courage and confidence. Face your challenges head on, knowing that each one is an opportunity for misandroth. Pick yourself up when you fall, knowing that each time you do, you are affirming your divine nature. Keep going, no matter what, for your persistence is a testament to the indomitable spirit within you. Remember, you are not just living your life, you are creating it. Every thought, every word, every action is a brushstroke on the canvas of your existence. Think boldly, my friends, create a masterpiece worthy of the divine artist that you are. And know this as you pick yourself up and keep going. As you persist in the face of challenges, as you continue to reach for your dreams, you are doing more than just improving your own life. You are lifting up all of humanity, for we are all connected, all part of the same divine consciousness. Triumph is everyone's triumph. Your light illuminates the world. So shine brightly, my dear friends. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward. The world is waiting for the unique gifts that only you can bring. Your journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step and continues with every time you pick yourself up and keep going. Go now and create the life of your dreams, for in doing so, you are fulfilling your divine purpose and blessing the world with your presence. Remember always you are powerful beyond measure, loved beyond imagination, and capable of more than you could ever dream. Now go and let your light shine.